At a Los Angeles airport, flight attendants Jenny and Paula are preparing for their next flight. Captain Forrest and co-pilot Willie chat with them, noting the low passenger count due to thunderstorms. Willie takes medicine for feeling unwell. The attendants meet various passengers: George, a solo-flying teenager, Bev and her husband, Dr. Kingston, who has Parkinson's, nervous flyer Army medic Sheila, relaxed Louise with her cat, germophobic couple NY and Susan, excited foreigners Forrest and Mecca, and hamster owner Henry. Henry's hamsters cause a commotion and businessman Preston sneezes frequently. As the plane takes off, Jenny deals with unruly passengers Niall and Henry. Henry flirts with Jenny and watches a news report about a CDC incident in Los Angeles. Ralph, feeling ill, vomits and becomes agitated, leading to chaos. Ralph is restrained by passengers, but during descent, he attacks again, injuring Paula. Sheila tends to Paula's wounds, and Forrest lands the plane at an unassigned gate to get medical help. Fortunately, airport baggage handler Ed sees the approaching plane and opens the gate just in time. Forrest and Willie hold the bathroom door shut as passengers urgently exit, except for Bev and Kingston, who need assistance. Ed leads the group to another gate, but it's locked and no one responds on the radio. They follow Ed through an employee entrance to the airport staging area. The group tries other doors, finding them locked, confirming a lockdown. They realize they're under surveillance. Suddenly, sirens sound and they see emergency vehicles outside before the window is covered. A voice announces quarantine and they contact their families. They blame Jenny for the situation until Sheila suggests using her medical kit to help Paula. Jenny, Ed, and some passengers search for Sheila's luggage in the dark. Upon returning to the plane, they find Forrest and Willie missing and blood in the bathroom. Kingston silently indicates his missing wife and they find chewed cuffs. Ed discovers a hatch to the baggage hold. Jenny retrieves Sheila's medical kit, while Niall finds a gun in his suitcase. Ed mistakes a rodent for a rat, but Henry believes it's one of his hamsters due to a broken cage. As Jenny climbs out of the hold, she sees Preston's laptop covered in blood. Willie, also bloodied and growling, charges towards them. Suddenly, an infected Forrest attacks Jenny. The group rushes to help, but punches are ineffective, so Niall shoots Forrest dead. Forrest's blood splatters on Niall's face. They exit the plane and find Kingston thrown from his wheelchair and Preston bitten on the neck. Nearby, Bev begs for help but transforms and attacks. Jenny outruns her while the others lock Bev out. Back with the group, Sheila tends to Paula as Susan cleans Niall's face. They kiss despite the situation. Henry and Ed block the door to keep Bev out. Jenny notices drops of blood, worrying about the source. She takes charge since the captain is dead. Sheila confirms it's an unknown disease. Kingston notices a rat with red eyes, but he can barely hum to alert them before it bites him. They catch and treat the rat. They decide to lock up George and Paula in case they transform. It finds a tag on the rat indicating it's from a lab. George accuses Henry of bringing it, but Henry denies it. Jenny confronts Henry, who insists he's innocent. Ralph suddenly attacks Jenny, but the group overpowers and strangles him. They receive a message that the CDC has arrived. However, officers enter, hold them at gunpoint, and take the rat and Niall's weapon. They inject Paula and Kingston without explanation. The officers demand the others agree to injections. Louise volunteers but is bitten by her cat, causing chaos. Kingston transforms and attacks, and the officers shoot him. They try to leave but find the door locked. Forrest follows them out and a shootout ensues, killing all but one officer, who is wounded. The group drags the surviving agent inside before closing the door. Hearing the infected getting closer, they hide inside a container. Susan notices Niall foaming at the mouth, and they explain she's infected too. Inside the container, Sheila points out the injections had different colors, not just protocol. Henry reveals he found a gun and forces the officer to confess. The officer admits he's with the CBDT, a domestic terrorism organization under Homeland Security. They had raided a bioterror laboratory in LA but found no survivors. The officer implies they were going to use the group as human trials for a failed cure. After confirming the rats carry the disease, the officer self-eliminates. Ed remembers an old drainage tunnel they could escape through. Willie appears and grabs Ed's hand, but Henry realizes he has no bullets. Ed crushes Willie against a beam, and they leave the container. Jenny notices Henry missing. Neka is dragged away, so they hurry upstairs. Henry retrieves another gun. Jenny finds Paula transformed and fights her off, killing her. In an office, they find blueprints showing the way to the drainage tunnel. George finds suspicious documents and a mysterious box in Henry's bag. At that moment, Susan and Niall attempt to attack, but Henry returns and shoots them just in time. Aid notices Henry was bitten, and George opens the box, revealing medicine and a syringe. Henry finally admits to bringing the rats and being part of the mentioned cult whose goal is to cleanse the planet of violent humans. Threatening Jenny, Henry demands the antidote. Ed intervenes but is shot dead by Henry. Fearing for their lives, the group gives Henry the antidote, which he mixes with his blood and injects into his eye. Claiming his group has influence in various organizations, Henry plans to leave with Jenny as a hostage. Jenny tries to stop him, but is knocked down, and Henry escapes with George and the blueprints. Jenny, dizzy, follows them out and encounters an infected Preston. After a chase, she kills him with a hatch lid. Continuing her search for George, Jenny encounters a transformed Nika. She finds Sheila, who has thermal goggles, and reveals she's been bitten. Sheila asks Jenny to go after George while she distracts the infected. Sheila sacrifices herself to buy Jenny time. Jenny finds a hole in the wall opened by Henry, and as she's about to enter, is attacked by Louise. Jenny fights back and then proceeds through the wall section, noticing blood drops on the ground. Thanks to the goggles, Jenny gets startled by some animals, only to realize they're just mice, not the lab rats. Following the blood trail, she finds the blueprints and Henry's shirt by a ladder leading into the drainage tunnel. George, at the bottom, explains the antidote didn't work and Henry has transformed. Ignoring George's warnings, Jenny descends and is attacked by Henry, causing her to drop the goggles. As Henry throws her around, Jenny struggles to defend herself. George puts on the goggles, grabs the gun, and shoots Henry. Jenny retrieves the goggles and uses a wrench to finish off Henry. Suddenly, flames appear down the hatch as outside teams burn down the terminal. With the exit blocked, Jenny finds a baggage tunnel and kicks down the lid. George, too scared to go first, receives the goggles and reluctantly heads down. They hear explosions outside and move quickly. Jenny realizes she's infected and begins to tire, but George, noticing her condition, refuses to leave her behind. They reach a blocked exit, and George manages to push through the bars. A transformed Jenny tries to attack him, but is too large to fit through. George escapes, leaving his jacket behind. Louise's cat escapes as well, heading to the city. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.